Hello, this is Sean. Today I'm going to be teaching how to make a miniature book. I don't normally do tutorials, but this is the first one I'm going to try. Anyway, I'm using Apple's Pages application, which is a word processor, and I've divided the 8.5 by 11 piece of paper into 100 pages using a 3/4 inch wide by 1 inch margins in between. First thing we do is create a text box and position it over the very first square. And then make sure that you change the text to the style that you want to use, the font. And I set it to the lowest setting that I want to set it to is 3. And it prints out really good if you have a good laser printer. And I prefer to use Times New Roman, but I forgot to change the actual font here. Here I'm just typing in something arbitrary. The quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dog. It's got every letter in it. But later on you'll see that I've actually got different writing in it because this is actually filmed at a different time than I did before. Anyway, you want to duplicate the text box, Command D, or you can go up to the Edit, Duplicate menu. And here we're just going to basically duplicate all of the text boxes across. You're going to end up with 10 across. Here I'm highlighting them all. Command D, duplicates, drag, place. Once you get all 10, you're going to highlight or select all 10. You can go Command A to select them all or drag across like that. Then drag those down, and then you're going to group those 10 together. Option Command G or Arrange Group. Then you're going to rotate. Hold the Command key down while rotating 180 degrees, and that will put that upside down. That's very important to do that the way that I make my pages, and you'll see that later on. Then once you rotate them, you ungroup them, select all, Command D to duplicate, drag down to the next row, and continue on and doing that until you have all 10 rows, all 10 columns, 100 pages total made. Oops. Something else you can do is where it says border over there on the right side, you can actually put a small border around each box, which I did not do. I did something differently. I took and drew a line down each of the grid lines to a very, very thin line. You just want it to be very, very thin, a light gray color. You're going to use those lines to cut later on and fold later on, which you'll see. I didn't show that in the actual video here. There's all 100 pages. Now I'm just zooming in so you can see that's page 1 there. That'll be page 10. That's page 11 upside down, and that's page 20 upside down. The bottom right hand or left hand corner, that one where the arrow's at, is page 100. Here I printed it out. The arrows that you saw at the top show which direction you're going to type your whatever you want to type into it. This is, like I say, something else that I have typed in arbitrarily just to fill up the pages so you can see how small the text actually is. Now here what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the lines, and you can see the lines that were there. I'll zoom in closer here in a second, and you'll be able to see the actual lines that I'm going to be cutting on. First thing I'm going to do though is cut around the outside of it and take the margin off. So all we have left are the pages. I keep getting my finger in the way with this and I have to reposition it. You'll see. It's annoying. Okay, now what you do is you start from that top corner there, and you're going to only go to the very last. You're not going to cut all the way through, but you're going to stop at that last page. See, my finger got in the way. I'm positioning that line right on the line of the cutter. And I stop right on that other line. It should be 9 inches across, or 8 inches across, I guess. So now I'm going to start from the other side and go across until I get to that point there and stop. You can do that all the way down the page. One direction, stop at the last page. The opposite direction, stop at the last page until you get all the way to the end. I've got a fan blowing again, so that's why you see the paper jumping around and blowing up. It makes this like accordion type of look. There goes my page. And then what we'll do is we're going to fold along the lines in between each page and make sure that words touch words and blanks touch blanks when you're folding them. That'll come clear here in a second. You always want to start with folding the page with the letters onto the page with the letters. You want a blank side to be facing you on the first fold. Try to make your folds crisp. Do as I say, not as I do, because I was in a hurry to try and get this done. Now you're going to fold backwards, and you go back and forth, all the way across until you get to the end. And I'm not going to fold all 100 pages here. I'm only going to go about 40 pages is all I'm going to do for this tutorial. But you can do as many pages as you want, obviously. And when you get to the end here, after you make this fold onto there, you're going to fold it backwards down to the next one behind it. It's only attached to one page, so you can only go one direction. And that's the way you're going to fold it. And I apologize, my camera, I couldn't see the screen, so I go off camera here in a little bit. You won't be able to see me folding for a while right here. But anyway, then you start going back across the other direction, and I find it easier to turn the page around and keep going the way I was going before. And now it'll be, the same way, but just on the opposite side of the page. And the reason you fold it, or you print the opposite pages upside down, is because now that page is upside down to the one behind it. So if you had printed them all right side up, these pages that I'm folding now would actually be upside down in the book. So again, go across. When you get to the end, you fold the last one on top, and then you fold it under to the one behind it. And you keep going across and down, just like that. See here, we're going to fold it down and underneath. The blank page always touches the blank page. The worded page always touches the worded side, not page, sorry. Now, one last time across. Again, try to make your creases as good, as crisp and straight as you possibly can. Take your time. This is just regular printer paper. Then right here I'm going to cut this page off here because that's where I'm going to stop for this tutorial. Now is the fun part. Glue. I'd use a glue stick, and you want to try and get little, you don't want to use a lot of glue, and you glue the blank pages to the blank pages. You don't want to glue, obviously, the side that's printed. So you start on one end, you glue the blank to the blank, and then blank to the blank, and keep on going. So each page is going to be double thick. I should have did better coverage on that, but this is, like I say, just a tutorial. Keep going through, and then when you get to where it turns and goes to the next row down, you do the same thing, only you're going to bring it, well, you'll see. It's hard to describe with words. See here. See, now I'm going up and down instead of side to side. Like that. And then continue on side to side. I shouldn't have glued both pages. Oops. It's okay if you get glue on the outside like that, because that's going to be the spine of the book when you're done. So here I'm just going to skim through all of it, go real quick. And here's the last page that I believe. Just like that. So now you should have two blank pages on the outside facing you. And then when you open it up, there's your written book. That's page 1, page 2, page 3 and 4, and so on. There it is, all nice and opened up. Now these, the blue insert that you see there, that's and the cover actually were both provided by Heather Tracy at Thicketworks, and I highly suggest going and checking out her site, her channel. She's got some excellent tutorials, and she's got a better way of putting this thing together. I was flustered when I tried to do this, but I should have used less glue there, and I should have glued it into the book and let it dry before continuing on. But I didn't, because I wanted to get this, made. So you're going to see me fumble quite a bit with this. And anyway, what you do is you glue the insert there onto the front page and onto the cover, and there'll be an overhang just like that that you'll cut off to make it square. And then do the other side. And if I had let that glue on the spine dry, this would have been a lot smoother, a lot easier to do, and I just wasn't thinking when I did this. So you get to see high-speed fumbling here by me. And here comes the completed book. I use a clamp. See, I would have clamped it before and had it all glued and everything all dry before I put the cover and the insert on, but oh well. And as you can see, each page is like I say, double thick pages, writing on both sides, all up and down straight. You could literally write a book on here and it would come out. If you got really good eyesight, you can read it. If not, you may need a little magnifying glass or whatnot. But anyway, that's my miniature book that I've created. It could be a journal, could have blank pages and handwrite stuff in, or draw pictures, or anything you want. But anyway, I just wanted to show how I made the pages consecutive like that, so that you can actually have some written pages, your own text, a cookbook, or whatever you wanted to do, a book of poems that you wanted to copy into it and make it your own. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. It's the first that I've ever done, and I hope you learned something. Like I say, please go check out Thicketworksstudios, I think it is, Heather Tracy. I'll leave a link below in the description. And as always, have a better day, as I always say.